What's up, everybody? My name is Tucker. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 NBA players that already look like draft steals. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like rating on it. Check out my socials in the description as well, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first up on the list is a guy that quite frankly, I put him too low in the 2020 redraft video. This is just quick aside. Not all of these players are from like the 2021 or 2020 draft. These are from the last couple of drafts, but still the draft position qualifies them as draft steals. And it's Tyrese Maxey. He was drafted 21st in 2020. I put him, I want to say like 7 or 8 in that redraft video, and it was just too low. I mean, statistically this year, he's been awesome. Over 18 points a game. The 3-point shooting percentage is up there, and he's really been, I mean, as a guy drafted in the 20s, to be thrust into in your second year, being honestly the primary guard initiator for a team that is trying to compete for the conference finals because Ben Simmons isn't playing. It's been unbelievably impressive. Not only the way that he's playing, not only statistically the way that the way that he looks, but to be able to step up into that position and to be ready for all of that responsibility as just a second-year player has been fantastic to see. Now, granted, he's obviously not a perfect player, still has flaws, and he still has room to continue to grow and develop. But athletically, he's fantastic. Defensively, he can be really, really good. And even though decision-making wise, he's not like an ideal point guard type guy, he can absolutely score the ball, and when the three-point shot is going down, he's a devastating offensive player at times. Does not lack for confidence at all. And I mean, when you're talking about drafted 21st, just 2 drafts, or 1 draft ago, I guess technically, that is incredible value for Philadelphia. Well done to them. After a handful of years of not a fantastic, let's say, draft record, that's a really good job by them, and good job by Tyrese Maxey as well. Next up, another guy that we talked about, I believe, in that 2020 redraft video. These are the only 2 guys on the list from the 2020 draft. It's Desmond Bane from Memphis. Again, statistically, I don't know if people understand how good Desmond Bane has been this season, or really throughout his career, over 15 points per game. And I think more critically, almost, granted, Dillon Brooks hasn't been playing to begin this year, he's averaging almost 30 minutes a game for a Memphis team that is, they're in a lot of these games, almost every night, even when they're playing some of the better teams. Big win over the Jazz the other night, a team that is going to consistently compete for a play-in spot in what is a pretty tough middle of the Western Conference to kind of deal with at the moment. And so when it's similar to the Maxey thing, when you're being trusted in just your second year with so much responsibility as a floor spacer, as a scorer, as a defender, that shows not only the coaching staff's trust in you, but your growth as a player and your maturity as a player so early on in your career. And it's especially impressive for these 2 guys, again, because they were literally just drafted in 2020 and late draft as well. Desmond Bane, the 30th pick in the 2020 draft. That 2020 draft looks really, really cool, by the way. I know initially people weren't super excited because it was like, oh, is it LaMelo? Is it Anthony Edwards? Is it James Wiseman? There wasn't a clear #1 pick, but I've done videos on this in the past. I probably could have made an entire list of draft steals to this point from that 2020 class, whether it be these 2 guys, Tyrese Halliburton, a handful of different players. That 2020 class is super, super fun. Now, however, we go back to the 2019 class. It's weird to even call this guy a steal because it was clear pretty immediately that that's what he was. But Tyler Herro is just out of his mind this season. I mean, there were, the typical stuff in the offseason, right? I want to be 6th man of the year this year. He had a kid. He's going to start playing better, right? Like all these different things. Everything, every single thing that we heard about Tyler Herro this offseason has come to fruition. He's averaging 22 points per game, shooting 40% from 3, and he's perfect, absolutely perfect for the role Miami has put him in. Because the thing with Tyler Herro that was always a little bit awkward with Miami last year, he was obviously great in the bubble, but last year was they didn't know where to put him because that first unit kind of needed his offense, but having him and Butler and some of their other primary offensive guys on the floor all at the same time didn't really work because there was too much redundancy and you weren't being super efficient how you were utilizing Herro. So we still had to run the second unit a lot, but then he was out there a lot with Jimmy Butler. And he obviously isn't a fantastic defender, so they were getting burned some there, and it just didn't work. But when you can allow Tyler Herro to just come on the floor and say, hey, you're going out there, we need you to score, play make, facilitate, run the offense. And he's just got shooters and a big that can roll to the rim, and maybe one other on-off ball playmaker type guy out there with him. He can be fantastic. The confidence level is unbelievable. The shot making ability is off the charts. And as 13th might not seem like a steal, but when you're getting this level of production from the 13th pick, just 2-3 years into his career, it's been amazing. And I know we've kind of gone all over the place with Herro. We've been on so many different ends of the spectrum where we went from like, this guy's awesome in the bubble, to he's not playing that well, to he should be a James Harden trade piece, to you're insane for thinking that, to 6th man of the year this year. But right now, like, you have to consider this guy one of the better draft selections of the last couple of years with the way that he's playing right now. He's absolutely, in my opinion, in the lead to be the 6th man of the year this year, and just got to give him all the credit in the world. In Miami as well for, you know, obviously drafting him and developing him, but that's what they do, right? Whether it be him, whether it be Bam. Bam could have been on this list from, if we went that far back, you know, Duncan Robinson. They truly do a fantastic job. Next up, another guy from that 2019 class, the 28th pick in that class, and it's Jordan Poole. He's not, you know, overwhelmingly efficient or anything like that, but it's similar to the Maxey thing, just with an extra year in there, where the Warriors really have been counting on him this year to step up, to be a really critical part of their offense, and he has improved so much. I remember trying to watch him in the beginning of his career, and it was just, he just looked a little bit lost. Like, there was clearly some confidence. He clearly felt like he belonged, but in what is a relatively complicated offensive scheme in Golden State, he just didn't really know his place. He didn't really know where to go, what to do. And then once he got there, he wasn't making shots, but he's been awesome. He's someone they can rely on as an on-ball creator. He's someone they can rely on as an off-ball shooter. He competes defensively just like everybody does there in Golden State. Otherwise, you don't play. He's gone through some rough, you know, shooting stretches and things like that, but he's also had games where he's hit, you know, 5 and 6 threes. Now, the interesting thing is going to be what happens to him statistically once Klay comes back. All of that depends on how good Klay looks when he comes back, but it's such a nice luxury for them to have, where if Klay comes back and, you know, they only want to play him 20, 25 minutes a night, they don't have to force him to do anything more than that, because Jordan Poole has been really good for them, playing almost 30 minutes a game, again, on a team that has the best record in the entire league right now, speaking to that responsibility, the trust that the coaching staff really has in him. He's been awesome. He's been fantastic. And anytime you get players like this that are late first round picks, second round picks, you know, outside of the lottery picks, that end up having a really good start to their career, it makes not only the draft class that much more fun, but the league that much more fun in general. More talent is always good, and Jordan Poole has certainly done his fair share to add a little bit more talent to the league. And then last up is probably my favorite guy on the entire list. Jaylen Brunson, 33rd in the 2018 NBA draft. This guy's he's a starting level point guard in the NBA. He just is. He's been a bench guy at times for them in the past, but when you look at him statistically, it might not appear overly impressive at first. 15 points a game, 5.3 assists. But here's the big number. 5.3 assists to, which is a rarity at this point in the NBA, 1.6 turnovers a game. His assist to turnover ratio is out of control for a guy that is creating as much as he is from a scoring and a playmaking standpoint. And that just doesn't happen that often. Like, we have high assist guys all the time in the league, averaging 10, 11 assists per game, but they also average like 4 turnovers a game. And Jaylen Brunson is I hate using this term because it's a very old man way to talk about basketball, but he's a true point guard. Like, he's someone that wants to set up his teammates, but he also has a scoring punch. I've enjoyed his game going all the way back to Villanova, where he was a highly recruited player, helped them win a national title, and then came into the NBA with not a lot of hype, but I mean, from the minute that he got to Dallas has been awesome. He's continued to grow and develop. He's strong. He can guard. He makes good decisions. He can shoot. He's honestly a near perfect fit with Luka, because you want a guy that competes defensively, that can guard smaller players, that plays the one so that, you know, he can run the second unit, or he can play off the ball with Luka by helping him space the floor. He's fantastic. By the way, he's also going to get paid. He is somehow Dallas screwed this up. I've never heard of this before in my life. They did some kind of weird contract with him as a second-round pick in 2018. He's an unrestricted free agent this offseason. So if Dallas wants to keep him, they're going to have to pay him. But I'm telling you, he can 100% start for a couple of teams around the league as a point guard and do a really, really good job of it. Jaylen Brunson is an awesome player and someone that, again, already looks like a steal from his class. You guys can let me know down in the comment section below if you feel like I missed somebody. Obviously, going all the way back to the 2018 class, there are a lot of different players that you could consider as draft steals. I just wanted to keep the list a little bit shorter here. I didn't want to start rambling on about 10, 11, 12 different guys. Like, we could have talked about Halliburton. We could have talked about, a handful of different players. You guys let me know down in the comment section below what you think. I feel confident about this group: Maxey, Bane, Herro, Poole, and Brunson, in terms of some of the better steals from each of their classes. But ultimately, I'll probably make a video about this where it's like, some of the best draft steals of the 2010s or of the last 5 years, whatever the case may be. but I wanted to kind of talk about some of the more recent guys. And it's really cool to have players like this that are drafted low. And it's not even like the typical Malcolm Brogdon thing where these are like 4-year players. They're just guys that for some reason slipped through the cracks and have found a way to really cater their skill set to what their teams need. And they've been awesome to begin their careers. But that is going to be the end of today's video. And I thank you guys very much for watching. Once again, my name is Tucker. If you missed any of my previous videos, be sure to check out the boxes on screen. Check out my socials down in a Linktree link down in the description below. With all those things said, once again, my name is Tucker. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.